Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Tailgate cemetery is good. Dahil hihiyang
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
I cannot find my mic. There we go. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. It was a little over a minute. I apologize. Had a lot of buttons to press. We are back in verdict watch in the Sarah Boone trial, Orange County, Florida. The judges said they're going to work till 10 o'clock if needed, but they might end sooner than that. I picked it was going to be under an hour. We're waiting.
You have 6.5 minutes.
It's not looking good for me. It's not. I'll call that. The 2 to 4 hour probably was or the 1 to 2 hours probably the better bet. Is it too late for me to change my votes? I think it is.
I just have to say, I love that soundbite. That is literally not true.
That's literally not true.
That's so funny.
I think we have Sweden on the phone. This might be Angela. Hold on just one second.
Angela.
It is.
To accept.
Angela, let's let the music die out here just for a second and welcome. Good morning, Angela. It should be morning for you, right?
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. So, jury, please, I want to sleep tonight.
2 a.m. is when I went to bed last night.
Well, I also backed up. I did drink coffee, so I'm good for a little while. So that's, I'm good for a while at least. Well, then, no, I am not in. What? I don't understand. Someone asked if I was in jail. Never mind. Can I say something before I go to Sarah Boone? Can I say something with the lawyer that called earlier?
Nicole. Nicole Goodman.
That I need to respectfully disagree on certain things.
Awesome. We love different opinions.
Yes. So I called the other day. I said that I got a very interesting assignment, and I went down the rabbit hole of which case to choose. And of course, Menendez Brothers is one of the cases that I was thinking about until I got a mail from my professor that may not be the case to choose from. The reasons doesn't matter right now.
Okay.
But before I got the mail today from my professor, I went on the rabbit hole of YouTube to learn everything I can about the case. Mm-hmm. I didn't go as far as going towards the trial, but I did go to I stumbled on the Dr. G's
Dr. G
YouTube
explains.
channel and his analysis.
Yes, I love Dr. G. He's a good friend of mine.
Yes. He did an amazing job and that's exactly what I needed, to get me started well before I got the mail. So he pointed the doctor that he did not, according to Dr. G, the doctor, what Lyle or whoever, which are brothers, did not. He said that only to the doctor, and the girlfriend, or actually a mistress, did not overhear, but the doctor said to her. And he did not say who said it, but, explained, without saying a word who said it, he sort of, that someone said, but who that someone is, watch the video. I'm not going to spoil. Go watch it. Really good video.
Sounds good. Yeah. I will. I'll look into that. Obviously, if they go forward with sentencing, we're going to look at that a little bit closer and see where that ends up. But.
Yeah. So basically, to the point, the doctor did violate the doctor-patient confusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't
the confidentiality.
pronounce the word right now.
He should not have said anything, and he did.
Yeah. And he got or his license. He's no longer a doctor. He may be alive.
He lost his license over
but
it?
yeah, in '98, I think, or 19. Yeah, and there is more than just breaking confidentiality, because that's not the first time he did it, apparently.
Wow.
So yeah. So that I want, but back to Sarah Boone. I played jury yesterday and took notes.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember when I think you said that during that expert that actually did not qualify for an expert because he gave like more general description of BSS and DV. But did not look into the. I don't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I think you said, and we all said more or less that the prosecution flipped him, and he became a prosecution witness. I think that he was that. I think that the prosecution had him in their pocket the whole time because they had those videos that they were gonna play in the rebuttal.
They knew.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to pause for just a second. A to Z started off with a huge gift. A huge $100 super chat, and then just gifted 20 memberships, and it's raining memberships in here. Also, we had Cachette gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Cachette. And according to Woo, gifted 10 memberships as well. Wow. Hopefully your gift settings are turned on, everybody. Thank you. Okay, let's try to wrap it up on this one. We're going to talk about Sarah Boone a little bit more, but continue there, Angela.
Yeah. And you know what bothered me? I mean, I could have like bought, and I may have bought her. Oh, I'm BSS. I am a victim of DV, and so on. But something that bothers me, although I am a child in my soul, and I still watch cartoons and so on. But what the games, the way she described how she behaved towards him, and that she more or less cut off directed him when he contacted his family, you know? I mean, that's a red flag. And that doctor basically, even if the jury did not think of it, when the doctor explained the BSS and DV, and the definition of those two, that basically... I mean, that woke up, at least it woke up to me, like everything that she testified to and that previously came up in the testimony during, during prosecution's case, you know?
Yeah. Angela, I've got to cut it short. We've got calls coming in like crazy. I've got to get short time limit for each caller. Sorry. It's wonderful to talk to you. Have a good one. Get some sleep. It's 2 a.m. over there in Sweden. All right. Thank you. We'll see you, Angela.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, this is RA. Oh, you can't hear me. Allison, thanks for being patient. I know you've called a couple times. What's on your mind? You've got Mrs. RA and I right here.
Can you hear me clearly? It's kind of staticky.
I can hear you great.
Okay. I won't take too much time. I wanted to give my 2 cents. Mm-hmm. So, I was a child of an alcoholic bipolar mother, and watching the trial, a couple of years ago, I watched her do her interviews with the police and all that. But watching the trial, I mean, zero surprised me. Even I was just waiting to see more, and it was like she checked off every single box of a very narcissistic person who, with the alcohol, kind of, her guards go down, she exposes herself. So she, oh gosh, I forgot, sorry. Anyway, so the point is, she has to have drama. My mother would have to have drama. Every husband she had, she would constantly try to create conflict. And it was constant.
Wow.
Is
So
when she would
you
drink, it was
recognize
always
these same patterns.
Right, and so when they played all the videos and body cams, I was like, yep. I mean, literally, I was just getting frustrated because she wasn't showing what I was like, yep. And so, for me, I mean, people can have their own opinions, but I think if you've experienced anyone in your life like that, there is no both sides. I don't even believe her when it comes to her being a victim.
So zero credibility from you.
My mother would have physical trauma or like bruises and scratches, but it's because you're standing there, not me, but like her partner would be standing there and she's coming at him constantly. So he can be like a statue, and at some point he's going to push off or whatever. I mean, it's just inevitable. And so I'm not saying he's innocent, but I was so upset at the end of the trial. I felt like more connected to him. I felt so sorry for him. It made me so sad. Yeah. And she just, everything, and so here's how narcissistic she was. She couldn't believe that no one was believing her in the police interviews. She was just like aghast that they weren't taking her story.
Not intentional. I said crazy. Not intentional. You know, let me bring this up because you bring up a good point. This, sadly, domestic violence hits close to home for way too many people. And we sit and we listen to this trial, and it's hard not to think of, you know, the instances that are, you know, either we're experiencing ourselves or, you know, are very close to us in our immediate family or a friend, and sort of, you know, see those together. Regardless of this verdict, don't let that affect. I'm sorry, I have to let you go.
Yeah.
I've got Chris from Trial TV
No.
Live
Finish that sentence. Go ahead and
line.
pick him up. But the sentence he was going to say was, don't let this experience diminish your own experience.
If my phone is acting up, if I'm still on, I'm going to hang up.
All right, thank you.
Okay. That if you are experiencing or have experienced or know somebody who does experience domestic violence, do not feel that the verdict, whatever the verdict is, invalidates you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the jury is looking at a set of facts that are very specific to this case, and don't let that.
And Sarah is not normal.
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably not a good representative of your personal experience.
Yeah. I've got Chris on the phone. Chris, you're live on the air. Is that cool, or do you want me to take you off? A to Z, Chris, can you hear me?
Oh no, Chris, are you there?
The call failed. We're gonna call him.
Hello, this is the Squeegee of Justice.
Squeegee of Justice. This is R8. We're live on the air. We can take it off if you'd rather.
No, that's perfectly cool. Yeah, I'm here with one of the cameramen from Spectrum as well.
Hi, this is Ben from Spectrum News.
Ben, welcome. It's awesome. Chris is our guy on the ground down there, as you know. We love him. What has it been like on the outside of the court for you, or out or inside?
Well, Ben, do you want to take it, or you go first and I'll follow up?
Well, there's a lot of media organizations here. Like there's a lot of general.
Oh, sorry, we're sitting outside in the plaza right now. We just had some pizza.
Friday evening traffic.
Nice.
It seems like there's a lot of public interest in this trial, and I can tell by the amount of media organizations that have shown up. And I can also tell you that it's not usually quite this crowded out here in the media parking area.
Yeah. This case, I mean, it was a slow build, right? Because we had 5 years to get ready for this. It's been a lot of delays. It is a unique case. We had pro se. We had 8 lawyers that, you know, left the case, change of judges, letters written to the judges. There's just been a lot of interest that's built up over the years, and I can imagine everybody wants to get that to their viewers. So it gets crazy for you guys.
We're all eager to hear what the outcome is going to be.
What's the rumble on the ground? Is locally, is everyone thinking that tonight's the night, or is this going to be a long weekend and an early Monday?
I mean, I've heard a variety of things.
Yeah, I think what we've heard is that Judge K wants it done tonight. And if he can't get it done tonight, they're going to come back tomorrow because he has a busy, full docket next week. So he does not want this to go into Monday.
Yeah.
Well, if I were on the jury, I'd want to come back tomorrow. I'd be like, let's get this over with.
Well, it would be Monday. I don't think they can come on Saturday.
No, he just said they're going to come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, no, he does not. Judge K does not want this to go into Monday. So he wants it to come Monday. Now, here's the thing with the media. When I got here last Wednesday, there were 4 local channels, right? It was local Fox, NBC, CBS, Spectrum, and that was pretty much it. Then I saw Court TV show up Friday once the trial actually started, and then all week it's been those 4 local channels. And I've been getting here around 6 in the morning, and they do their hits. They do their 6, 7, and 8 o'clock hits. And then the day crew shows up, which is where Ben comes in. He's part of the day crew. But then today, and I posted a couple of videos on our channel of the media swarm, if you will. It went from like 4 minivans and maybe 1 satellite truck to right now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's now 11 trucks. And trust me, there was probably at least 5 more before that.
It is wild. Verdicts always bring out everyone. That's where the interest is, really. A lot of people don't have the patience to sit through the evidence and the testimony that makes up a trial. But verdicts that's the money shot for court. So.
Yeah. Now, I have a question I want to ask Ben, if you can indulge me.
Yes, please do.
What does your news station, like, how do they determine what is newsworthy and what isn't?
Well, we're a little different. We don't focus so much on crime or any kind of courtroom activity, but if any major moves or if we have any kind of idea that a major move is going to happen in the courtroom that day, then we'll show up and cover it.
Okay. And that's like how far in advance would you know that? Like that morning, you guys kind of plan it out, or does it just happen?
We typically know kind of the morning of.
Okay.
The planning role isn't really something I do too much of.
Right. They just say, Ben, go here, and
they just tell me where to go, and I show up with my equipment. Sometimes
what I'll say, what I love about the media, the guys on the ground at like a court and thing like that. Even though everyone's literally competition, right? Everyone's fighting for eyeballs, the viewers, the ratings, everything else, their competition. Generally, media works well together. They're helpful. It's like, oh, you need that? I've got that cable. You need an adapter? I've got that, and here, you can use my power plug. It's just been awesome, the camaraderie. And I think the reason why is because there is a lot of turnover in media. People change jobs a lot. And the person you were mean to yesterday might be your boss tomorrow. So it's awesome to see it play out that way. I love it.
I can tell you real world stories about that specifically because I don't know, Scott, have you told your viewers and listeners what my role is down here in our connection or no?
Just that you're our guy on the ground running the equipment, connecting the cables outside in the car, running the live view and check, I've told a little bit. They don't know all that it's entailed, and it's been crazy. There have been some wild stories, some pulling our hair out.
Every day, every hour, there's something new that happens, and it's not hyperbole. It literally is like every moment there's something new, whether it's a fire that you got to put out or something you have to do. So when we got here, we initially thought we would be inside the courtroom, but we found out that it's outside, and there's no protection, there's no cover, there's nothing, and there's basically this silver box that you have to get a key every morning, and you have to give your driver's license to get this key. So I've been doing that since last Wednesday. So that's why I've been getting here at like 6 o'clock. Well, I discovered that the power cables and the BNCs that you sent down weren't long enough. So I had to. Right now, I'm using channel 2, and if they're listening, I'm going to give it back to you guys. But I'm using channel 2's power cord and their BNC. But then actually Erin, who is the partner at Trial TV Live, she did order a longer BNC, so I'm using that.
Nice.
But then one of Ben's associates, another guy came in, and he thought the same situation. He thought, oh, I thought we were going to be upstairs. I didn't realize we were going to be downstairs or outside. And he's like, I don't have a long enough power cord. I'm like, hey man, no problem. You can tap into me.
It is awesome. We love it. We appreciate it as well. I mean, most people are a lot of local and some travel a long way, and just have somebody just welcome them and say, hey, it's all right. We can make this work. We realize you're just doing a job as well, just like the rest of us. It's really cool. So thank you to everybody that helps made this possible.
Oh yeah, thank you for providing the equipment, and we're so happy that we're doing this for you, and it's been quite an experience, and I know I'm having a blast. I'm looking forward to doing another trial. Whatever, I think Stearns might be coming up in early next year. He'll be in Osceola, which is about half hour south of Orlando, so I'll probably be here for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing more of this with you, Scott, for sure.
I'm excited for that as well. Trial TV Live, it's been a great partnership. Thank you. I will say that you are a very quick learner when it comes to tech. You had never seen this before when I sent it down, and you now can run the whole thing. It's just like, hey, I'm running the troubleshooting, got it fixed. Okay, we got a feed, pictures here live. We've got 4 dots there. It was awesome. It was awesome working with you on this one.
Thank you so much. I went from Padawan to Obi-Wan in like 2 hours.
It was sort of necessary, though. It was trial by fire.
It really was. To quote Mr. J, a Star Wars reference. Yeah, it was. That was cool. But thank you for everything. And like I said, we're looking forward to more collaboration. So
just technical on the I guess logistics side, you're good to stay until court's over tonight. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. We
Amazing.
also first stream, and we started a new one just like you guys. And we're here for the long haul. I actually secured another place to stay because the place I was staying, I had to check out today, so I have a new place to stay. If we can if there's going to be a presser afterwards, I'll definitely be there with my camera. I'll do a live from that.
Oh, that's cool.
And that'll be on Trial TV Live. Is it all right if we take that feed from you guys and repost it on our side? Is that cool?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Thank you again. We're trying to get to 4,000 subs. I think we're at 3.9. So
so close.
We're going to get you there. We're going to get you there.
So close. Yeah. So whatever we can do to get us there, I would really appreciate that. And we're looking forward to doing more of these with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. We'll be in touch here shortly.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks
night.
so much, guys.
Yep.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye, Ben. Awesome. Great partnership. I can't say enough wonderful things about Chris and Aaron, Trial TV Live. I will say, go over there. Can we drop the link really quickly? Let's make sure we get...
we.
By we, I mean not me.
That's the peasant we.
I would have to
All
find
of
the
you.
link and then post it. We're going to put a link up, and we'd love for you to go over and click the subscribe button. They run clean court feeds.
And by clean, it doesn't mean that everybody on there is speaking in uplifting words.
Yeah,
it just means there's nothing
there'll
on
be some
it.
cursey words. Thank you, Josh. There's the link right there. You can find them at Trial TV Live on YouTube as well. So if we could get them to 4,000 tonight, that would be awesome.
They have certainly worked hard for it. They've put in the time.
Got another call coming
Call
in.
from Amanda H.
Amanda H. Good to talk to you again. How are you doing?
Hey. Oh, I'm sitting here. I hurt my knee and pulled a muscle in my leg at work today, so I'm sitting here watching you.
Well, that's a good reason to not go to work again next week. Are you all right?
At least till Monday, right?
Yeah, take a few days
Yeah,
off.
and pulled muscles are a lot harder on you when you're 48 than when you're 8 or 15 or 16 or 20.
Seriously.
I don't bounce up when I fall like I used to.
No, it's like splat.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think about all the times playing all the sports I did, all the injuries, taking, line drives to the head and that.
I just walk it off. Walk it off.
Right. Rub a little dirt on it and keep going,
Oh.
Anyways, I know I've talked to you before. This has been a very, very difficult case for me personally. I was raped in college. I have been in DV cases or situations, choked on the ground, choked. Anyways, you name it, I basically have experienced it. This has been very hard for me.
Goodness.
One thing I wanted to say, though, that a lot of people, the day that they were talking about George's hand and how it triggered her,
yeah,
it's the little things. When you're in such a situation, it could be something little like that will trigger you. For me, seeing somebody with a hoodie over their head,
that's enough.
It triggers me. Not all the time.
Yeah.
I can see somebody and be just fine, but then the next time it can. So I understand how, if that is true, if that is a true case, I can see how that is triggering for her. Because you just don't know. You could be fine 1 minute, the next minute you're not.
Sure.
Me personally, I do not believe that's the situation.
So you think that she should be found guilty?
I think she will.
But do you think that she
I
should?
think she will.
Like,
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, 110%. You know, and she's just for true. I mean, I try to figure out how to word this the nicest way. People that are truly been victimized like this, she puts a bad name on it for us out there.
Yes, she
because
does.
She's making this scenario up. Like, yes, she definitely went through some domestic violence. Absolutely, 100%. No doubt in my mind.
Right.
But to use that as a scapegoat, I left my ex-husband because it got to the point where I was being called the see you next Tuesday, you name it, I dealt with it. But when I was sitting there, he's yelling at me, and I'm sitting there thinking, there's a butcher knife right there in my kitchen. And I could get by with it because of all the abuse and everything that I dealt with. I knew in my head, I have to leave. I've got a child who's 8 years old that needs me to be here, you know, which is about the same age as what her son was, you know.
Yeah.
She's using it as a figure. I think she used one of those situations. She coerced him into that suitcase. I do not believe that he got in there willingly. We've seen her manipulate him on those videos.
Yeah, she would plan it out. She's like, well, we're going upstairs to see what he did with the keys. And she had like planned out how this video was going to go, waking him up out of bed. Where are my car keys? We see the video where she's talking to the judge. You know, what are you going to tell the judge? And he repeats clearly what they practiced, what she's told him to say, and she coaches him along the way. And then you see the baseball bat to the TV video, and we only see a little snippet. We don't see the part before.
Right.
And the context could mean everything.
Exactly.
I had a question.
You know, it's like my mama and daddy told me growing up, you know, not telling the whole truth is still a lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Amanda,
I don't believe she ever said the whole truth.
I agree. And that's sad because the family, only has what she says to go by what, how this went down. Amanda, thank you for sharing.
But I think justice is coming. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing very personal stuff. I know that's painful. I know this is a tough case for that, and I appreciate you, putting that perspective on things for us. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Good talking to you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
It is surreal how many people struggle with this. Yeah. Like that we can have just a group. It's not really random, but it's a group of people that's somewhat random, and the number of people out there who have experienced. More than 1 in 4. That's, man, it's a sad commentary on us.
Yep. I want to say thank you everyone for subscribing. If you want to become a member to Trial TV Live, I don't think you'd regret
press
it.
1. To send a voicemail, press.
They do have memberships on their channel as well. Hey, this is Scott. How are you doing?
Hi, Scott. It's Lori.
Hey, Lori.
So, you guys listen to this. This totally reminded me about 40 years ago or so. I had a girlfriend. She called me to her house for, I don't know, the upteenth time. In a panic. I get there. She is a mess. She is beat the heck up. Yeah. So, her husband wasn't around, so I asked where he was. And she said, I talked him into going for a horseback ride. Well, I was there for probably 30 minutes, and she happened to look out the window. She sees him in the distance. He had fallen off the horse, and the horse, of course, is running home. And she freaked out. She was like, we got to get there. I got to get over there. He maybe hurt himself. He maybe, hit his head on a rock. I'm thinking, and I said out loud, why? Who cares if he hit his head? So her connection to him was, of course, much stronger than mine. I'm seeing it from the outside.
Right.
So I was trying to talk her into not going and checking on him. I mean, I was just like, no, leave him alone. If he's okay, he'll come walking home. But if he's not, we'll know later, So ended up, she did go out there. He had fallen, hit his head. And so she got him back to the house. And it started all over again with her. Now, he was one of these people that nobody in the community believed that he would do anything wrong.
Mm.
There are people that live the double life, right? The two faces.
Yeah. But, it just, this case brought things back to me, and I'm thinking, putting myself in where my friend was at, wanting to run to him and help him and hope he's okay. Yeah. It was just, my mind was kind of switching all over the place.
Because it didn't make sense.
Watching some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned trauma bond.
I was going to say, that's a trauma bond response.
Absolutely. And that was it. And it was a bond that I could not even relate to.
And that, I think, is key, that if you haven't lived it, why would you be able to relate to it? It's insane. But if you have, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I didn't see what I've been told about that happening here in this case. I didn't see that Sarah Boone was...
Oh, he had a trauma bond to her.
I don't see that Sarah was trauma bonded to him.
No, but he was trauma bonded to her. That's why he kept coming back.
I agree with that, Mrs. R.A., because I'm not sure, but I have worked with DV victims. It's the victim kind of that developed that bond more so. Because they have been made to feel and made to think of themselves as just pieces of nothing.
Yes. A trauma bond is when you have experienced a trauma in a relationship and it creates what I can only describe as a hole inside of you that then you are desperately trying to fill with what should have happened in that relationship. And so you're constantly saying, it'll get better. Maybe this time it will be better. Maybe this time it will, they'll see me the way that I ought to be seen or whatever. And it is this magnetic force that keeps pulling the victim back to the abuser in an effort to fill that hole in a misguided belief that this time the response will be right. This time they'll love me. This time they'll be kind to me. This time I will show up in the way that they need me to, and therefore it will be okay. That's called a trauma bond, and it is not healthy, nor does it ever work. Sorry.
Thank you very much for the call.
And with my friend, And with my friend, I was trying to talk her into not going out there. I'm saying, hey, good if he hit his head and he's dead. You know what I mean? So, anyway, thanks you guys.
It's easy from the
so
outside
much.
to see that, and it's hard to convince them on the inside.
You have to heal on the inside before you can do that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the call. Thanks for sharing.
You bet. Bye.
And I'm not an expert, so I know that I've studied up on trauma bonds, but it's been a while, and so I might not be verbalizing that exactly right, but that's the basic idea.
Let me say, a lot of people are saying, can you add somebody to the stream or can you join someone else's stream? We're streaming on hardware, not on software. If we were on StreamYard, that would be very easy. On hardware, it's a little bit different. I run the show a little different that way. So I can't just do that. I would have to stop the live stream and start a new one.
Rebecca.
Let's see. Hey, Bite Me. Rebecca, how are you doing? I call Bite Me. You are Bite Me that's your username. Yeah. So anyone who's new here might just think I was rude to you there, but I was not. Bite Me, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Buttercup sends butter sugars, of course. And I just wanted to say something real quick that nobody has really brought up throughout this whole trial. And I learned a couple things in my many years. When it comes to breast cancer, you always hear about women that get breast cancer. Men get breast cancer too. When you hear about abusive relationships, it's common to hear that it's the woman that has been abused. Men get abused also. And I really don't think that men feel comfortable reporting it. But
there's a stigma attached. There's a perception of weakness to say that I'm a victim. I'd say it's very similar to the stigma that's attached to mental health and seeking mental health treatment and things like that. And it's sad that it is that way. I think that we as individuals need to change it locally, and so it will eventually globally make a difference.
Yeah. I think what was interesting for me is that as I was looking at this from the perspective of Sarah being the abused, it was so hard to make the pieces fit, to make everything snap into place. I was working at it. I was trying really hard. But as soon as I flipped the script on that, I was like, wait, maybe he's the abused one. Like, and that wasn't like a surprise to anybody else. That everybody's been saying that since the beginning, but I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But as soon as you flip that, everything snaps into place. It's like, now it makes sense. Now I don't have this weird, they're abusing each other thing. Now I see one person is being abused and the other is occasionally defending themselves violently.
Right.
That sounds weird, but yeah.
I know. But after, I've made no secret about this. My second husband was abusive. He was an alcoholic. And when Sarah started saying these things, and I'm thinking, this is not right. She's the one that's doing this stuff to him. She's the control. And everything that she said,
I'm sorry.
That was according to her.
Is there motion?
We have, Kathy Russin is just tweeting we have a verdict.
There's rumblings.
Ooh.
We have. I will
let you go.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I just want to confirm that. I'm seeing it out here, and it looks like it's good. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay.
All right.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
That was fast, but it's an hour and a half.
Oh, I was off by 29 minutes. I was off by 21 minutes. You know what that means? It means take your headphones off. After 5 years, 9 lawyers, and it seems like a million delays, the case of Sarah Boone has finally come to a conclusion. The jury of 6 people down in Florida, after deliberating just for 1 hour and 29 minutes, has reached a verdict. Sarah Boone's charged with second-degree murder. Lesser includeds include manslaughter and one other that I can't remember. It's been a long day.
But if they find her guilty of second degree, that's it. They don't find her guilty of that plus the others, right?
Culpable negligence or something. I don't remember what the last one was. This is it. This is a very, very quick deliberation time. I would say if I were Sarah Boone's lawyers, I would look at her and say, prepare for the worst.
Oh, they should have already had that conversation.
Prepare for the worst because we were hoping for more time. This is not enough time to take someone and flip their opinion in an hour. If someone at the end of trial had gone through all this trial and heard everything, an hour and a half, that's just not it. That's just not it. This looks like a guilty all over it, and looks like guilty is charged. I don't think we're going to see a lesser included. I don't think manslaughter is going to be the result here. I think Sarah Boone, at the end of today, when she goes back to jail, which I believe she will be doing for a long time, will wish that she took the plea deal that she was offered from the state when they said, we'll give you manslaughter and 15 years. 15 years. And now she's facing, I believe, between 22 and a half and life in prison. The jury, as the judge has told us today, will not be deciding the penalty. The judge will be doing that, possibly at a later date. There may be a pre-sentence investigation or pre-sentence analysis that goes on. So we are buckled in for this, and any moment now we expect to see some movement in court as people are probably rapidly coming back to court. The family has been there. The lawyers have to be there. Sarah Boone obviously has been in the holding cell at the courthouse, so she'll be just a couple minutes to be brought in as well.
I still had thoughts. I still had things I wanted to say. That was so fast.
The alternate jurors probably haven't even gotten home yet.
They're still eating their dinner.
This is crazy fast. for this to happen.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was thinking is everybody kept bringing up, what about the 13th juror? What about the number 13? She's a domestic violence victim. What about that? And my thought is, no. Once you watch those videos of her, it's like, okay, that domestic violence victim is as far against her as you can possibly be because you see that she is, in fact, the instigator of the violence. So that is not a concern for me. I was interested to see how all of the lawyers who were doing the closings were interacting with the jury. I believe that the jury had a poker face because it did seem like both the prosecution and the defense were working really hard. Neither of them seemed to be like, yeah, we've got this. They both seemed to be really putting it in there, trying to convince them to the last possible second. So I think that's interesting as well. And those are my last two thoughts. So we're good.
The judge is probably very pleased with this. Schedule-wise, this was the day, this was the week for it to end. He was made special arrangements to have them stay as late as another hour and a half. Let's see, it's 8:30 now. Another hour and a half later than this, if they couldn't reach a conclusion tonight. But it looks like they have been able to agree. All 6 jurors, we believe 5 women, 1 man, deliberating on this case, and they're going to be returning a verdict here on a very simple form. Very simple form, very clear, easy to understand. Not like how they do it up in Boston and Canton. I'm sorry, that's a low blow.
But accurate.
They're going to decide if which of the 4 options that have been presented to them fit this case. And we have murder, manslaughter, and culpable negligence as the 3 guilties, and 1 obviously not guilty option. In that order, murder being the highest crime, lesser included of manslaughter, and the culpable negligence was something that the defense fought to get included. And then after they got it included, they wanted to remove manslaughter. So
that was a tricky move.
It was a little bit of chess that went on there. Thank you very much. I'm getting tweets from Chris and Aaron. This is wonderful. Do you think Sarah Boone will have a big reaction upon being found guilty? Well, I will have a big reaction if she's found not guilty. I can tell you that much, and that is a possibility.
I don't think she will. I think for as much as she throws temper tantrums on paper, she really hasn't in the courtroom.
She has been pretty measured. As a matter of fact, very little emotion whatsoever. We've seen some happiness, some smiles, some sort of lighthearted cheerfulness, almost so much that it seems out of place in court. Most of that's been directed to a supporter that was in the courtroom with her that we understand from our observers in court is a friend that she made in jail. A very close friend. We won't go any further into that. And but as far as the case goes, all I can assume is that the Sarah we saw on the interrogation video, the 2.5-hour interrogation video in the sheriff's office, is the same Sarah we're seeing now, where she is still either she's convinced herself then and she still believes it now that she is not guilty because she didn't intend to. It wasn't intentional.
I do believe that she thinks that the law should be or is written in such a way that says if it wasn't intentional, you're not to be held accountable. I think that's where she's coming from. I'm seeing motion.
We're seeing people file in just a moment. Probably when they bring Sarah in or the judge comes in, whichever happens first, the camera should pan out and we'll get a wider view of the court. Zero questions. The jury had everything they needed the first time here. The jury was allowed to take and keep their notes with them, even though the defense objected.
Yeah, why would they object to that?
You don't want the notes back there. Why would you take notes if you can't have them? I mean, literally, they get destroyed after this trial.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me why either side would say we don't want you to have your notes. Yeah. Why? What do you think they wrote down? It's what?
Yeah, absolutely wild. Why are we seeing verdict? Where are we seeing the verdict? We're seeing it right here. We are live, this video feed. We have our crew down on the ground in Orlando, Florida, connected directly to the cameras in the courtroom. And this is what we're getting.
They're saying verdict.
They're saying verdict as well, yes. So we've played the music. That is a tradition on the channel. Not that we're trying to
it is a weird thing. It feels like a touchdown music.
Justice. We celebrate before we know what the answer is. And I think that's important, an important distinction. We celebrate before we know what the verdict is because our system states that justice has been done if they've reached a verdict. and that's one that we will support. So, yes, all the outlets are claiming verdict right now. So
it just takes a minute. People have to get here.
I think the main people that have to be here. It's the court will start without media. It's not. They're not waiting for the cameras.
I think they'd like to start without media.
The main people that have to be there is any family members who are, the victim's advocate is going to make sure that those who want to be there are present. Of course, they have to stay close enough that within a set time range they can arrive back in court. You need the prosecution, you need the defense, you need the defendant, and you need the jurors, and you need the judge. Other than that, there's a couple court personnel that'll keep records, and that's it. But
and maybe some students in this one. They need them.
I would love it. We've seen law students sit on the side of the judge throughout this trial. So sometimes one, but usually 2 to 4, that have been observing this trial from the judge's vantage point.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't know that judges feel this way, but I feel like every one of us is like those students. We're all sitting here watching the whole system. We're all sitting here figuring out how the court system works and understanding what the objections are and all the nitty-gritty details. I feel like we get this wonderful opportunity to be those students, but at the same time, it's so awesome to see actual students there doing it. It was just amazing to watch.
Yeah, that is really cool. So I stopped the deliberation time at 1:29. It might have been a minute or two before that. And also, the official deliberation time would be the moment they enter the jury deliberation room, which could be like a minute or two down the hall. So definitely under an hour and a half of deliberation time total, which if their dinner was back there waiting for them, I think this was very quick. If they come back and say, we've already eaten dinner, we're ready to go home as soon as you read our letter, this was probably one of the fastest verdicts we've seen.
If anybody back there is like me, they're still chewing. Just hang on a second.
It's like, is this a to-go? Can I take that with me? Maybe the judge will let him finish it in the jury box. Morgan Larusic, welcome to the gallery. Thank you for your 2 months of support. I love it.
You sound like one of those, like, Sunday.
That's who I'm trying to sound like.
Oh, you do it. You nail it.
The monster truck announcer. That's what I'm going for. Let's see. I hope all my friends are here, says Melissa. We're here. We're here. We got you. Let's see. Coyote Steve, I like this, says, Recovery Addict, you were really correct because 30 minutes for supper, 1 hour to deliberate. I was going to say 1 hour for supper, 30 minutes to deliberate, and then it'd be even more right. But
this is not the way you eat, though. You eat really fast.
I'm going over in my head the trials that have had a quick verdict. I know Daryl Brooks was, 3 hours? And that was an open and shut case. I mean,
I don't know.
talk about yes, he's going to be found guilty. It was all on video. It was all on video.
Well, it can be argued that so was this.
Well, here at least they had a legal defense.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did, other than that I'm not Daryl Brooks in all capital letters.
Right. Which is fair. Who wants to be your name in all capital letters?
To your golf tourney voice. I am too hyped up right now to dial it back and slowly narrate the events as they happen.
Hannah, yeah, it seems like hers was really fast.
Hannah Gutierrez?
Man, I don't know. Yeah, they said Gutierrez. I don't know how to say that name.
I'm mixing up my Hannahs. We had the Hannah in the Rust case, and we also had the Hannah in Georgia.
Oh, I was thinking in Georgia.
The Georgia one was the roadside traffic road rage.
I think that one was fast.
That was quick as well. That was quick. Channel your golf announcer. I'll try.
I can't remember. There's some sports movie where it's a boxing movie, and they're waiting for the final score, and the guy who's not the boxer but like the coach, he's like, man, anything that takes this long is someone's getting screwed. And I feel like that. I mean, that was the line in the movie, and he said.
And on other notes, I'm just kidding.
I mean, he was just saying they're fixing the score, and I feel like that's sort of how. There's a flavor of that when it comes back so fast. You're like, man, anything that comes back that fast is guilty. That's it.
I think what this does show us, and I don't know, there is, I'll leave this out there. I'm 99% sure that this is a guilty verdict, but there is that 1% chance that somebody's going to win the lottery tonight, and it might be her last name might be Boone.
No.
If that happens, what this shows is that the jurors are confident in where they're voting. And with what the evidence that we watched, those videos, especially the closing, the state, and by closing I mean the end of rebuttal all the way through their closing, was so powerful, was so well directed, that I think that would have shaken just about anybody's position if they were saying, yeah, Sarah Boone, that's reasonable doubt. Here we go. Judge is back in the court right now. We should get audio here in just a minute.
Wait, so what are you saying? You think that they could be shaken to say not guilty?
I think that anyone who was convinced, say like yesterday morning.
Second. We are on the record in case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. State, let me get your appearance for the record.
Steve Kestro on behalf of the state. William J. for the state.
Defense.
James Owens for Ms. Boone.
Kevin Beck for Sarah Boone.
Mr. Henderson's not going to be here.
Okay, all right. Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table, wearing the same clothing from this morning. Yes, Mr. Beck.
Judge, they've got her in chains, and they've got her in the ankle handcuffs, so she can't go anywhere. I'm just asking, we would like to rise during the jury coming in. I'm asking if there's any way we can take off the handcuffs and the waist chain so that the jury wouldn't see it in case there's something wrong with the verdict form, or there's an issue, which sometimes happens, but that's my position.
Okay. I've been advised by the sheriff that during the reading of the verdict, due to Ms. Boone's status as an inmate, their leg irons and the cuffs are to be attached.
Well, she's going to stay seated.
That's fine.
Mr. Beck's going to stay seated.
I would ask for us all to remain seated, and could you remind everybody in the gallery that there should be no emotional reactions?
I was just about to address that, sir. Thank you very much. All right, members of the jury, my understanding, or members of the gallery, good evening. My understanding is that the jury in this matter has reached a verdict. I don't know what it's going to be until it's read. If you are unable to contain yourself emotionally, and you're going to react in any way, be it in joy or in sadness, I'm going to ask you politely to excuse yourself at this time. There cannot be any emotional outbursts when the verdict is read. Does everybody understand that? I see everybody nodding their heads. Okay. State, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
You will bring jury.
They're paging somebody. That's a courtroom sound. That's not from my end. They're bringing the jury.
They're remaining seated because
she's in shackles. The jury, the reason she's wearing civilian clothes is to not give her the appearance of being guilty. If she were to be brought in chains or a jail jumpsuit and Crocs, that would most definitely be, at least in the mind of the observer, that, oh, what did she do? She's guilty of something. That's why she's been in civilian clothes. And so everyone's remaining seated because she is going to stay shackled.
Here we enter.
The jury's like, why are you standing? Here we go.
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, sir.
Right. Members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you. Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit, Ayden for Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Juror seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 3, is this your true
Yes,
and
it
correct
is.
verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Members of our jury, again, I want to thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together, and it was not taken lightly, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak to anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that, members of the jury, again, I thank you for your service. I'm going to ask you return to the deliberation room. I'll be back there shortly with your jury certificates, and thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure why they didn't rise then, because they found her guilty. She is as of right now. She is guilty. This is not unless proven guilty. She is now guilty in the eyes of the law. The judge might formally adjudicate her so. And we also might look at the schedule for
Ms. Boone,
sentencing.
the jury has spoken in this matter and has found you guilty of murder in the second degree. The court adjudicates you guilty of murder in the second degree. As this is your first felony conviction, you are entitled to a pre-sentencing investigation by the Department of Corrections. Mr. Owens, are you seeking that in this case?
Yes.
Okay. State, I will order the Department of Corrections to prepare the pre-sentencing investigation. State, for the purposes of sentencing, do you anticipate eliciting any testimony from, be it the victim's family?
2 or 3 victim impact statements, sir.
Okay. Mr. Owens, do you plan on presenting any evidence during the course of the sentencing hearing, sir?
Probably some testimony from Dr. Harper.
Okay. All right. How long do you think, State, that you would need?
You mean timing-wise, or are we thinking?
A quantum of time, sir. Yeah, well, normally it takes about 30 days or so. I'm confirming with Anita as to availability. I just want to know from your side of the ledger how much time. Okay, 15 minutes. How much time do you think you're going to need to produce anything from your side of the ledger, sir? Mr. Owens.
I'd say 30 minutes.
Okay.
30 to 45.
So if we set this for an hour, that would be sufficient.
Parties agree.
Okay.
State agrees.
Is that sufficient, Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give me a moment.
Judge checking the calendar to see when he can slot in sentencing. It's going to be quick. It'll happen amidst a lot of other things. Less than an hour in court, and she'll find out what her sentence will be. The judge will be the one that issues that sentence after the sentence investigation is complete and the testimony is heard by both the victims and apparently Dr. Harper on the defense side.
Remind me, what is a pre-sentencing investigation?
They look at all the factors. They look at your life. They look at the background. They basically interview you and look at the factors of the case that may have led to this and say, are there any...
Ms. Berrios is checking. Just give us a moment.
Mitigating circumstances. All those are sort of adjusted in here.
They do mitigating. Do they do exasperating? No, that's not the right word. Exacerbating. There we go.
They are very exasperating. Typically, the charges, anything that would elevate the charge would be done during the jury process of guilt. So, if it's murder,
we can set this matter for 1:30 in the afternoon for sentencing on December 2. State, is that acceptable?
December 2nd.
It's a Monday.
I have a status hearing, but I'll make it work.
I can move it to later if necessary.
I'm co-counsel on it. I'll make it work.
Okay. Defense. Yes, sir.
December 2nd.
That's Monday, December 2 at 1:30?
Yes, sir.
December 2.
I can be here.
Nobody says 2nd? December 2nd? There's George's family.
Ma'am, you've been adjudicated guilty. I now remand you into the custody of the Orange County Jail pending sentencing on December 2 at 1:30. State, anything else we need to address?
Not from the state.
Defense. All right. Thank you very much. We're off the record.
And like that, Sarah is going to go into custody. The minimum that she is going to serve for this or be sentenced to is 22 and a half years. The maximum is life. So that is a wide range. Obviously, if it is 22 and a half years, she will get credit for time served. Anything less than life, she'll get credit for time served. And then possibilities of parole and everything else, that's going to be worked out and spelled out at the sentencing. But as I think we saw a little relief on the family's face, a little concern on Sarah's as she kept glancing back over at the jury after they had voted, basically, and convicted her, trying to make some eye contact. I don't think she was finding any. Her glance was jumping around all over. I don't think she found any. Prosecutors, nobody shakes hands with defense. Mr. Owen's probably talking about next steps and saying, look, how about those movie rights?
No.
I'm just kidding. Was that too soon? And now, legally, in Florida, that is something they can now discuss. That after conviction, they can discuss the movie rights or book rights or something like that. And then once that's negotiated, maybe he will continue to represent her, as she does have additional rights that continue as far as appellate rights and things like that.
So as her court-appointed lawyer, how much more work does he do for her?
He's not court-appointed. That's the thing. He may be done here. His team may be all done.
Oh.
He might be explaining the next steps on what she can do, but he's like, look, I've done everything I can for you. That's understandable.
I would say he did.
Sarah's already shackled, so there's no getting ready. She's just going to be let out. We're going straight to the fingerprinting. This is the fingerprinting that the defense used as a podium or a pulpit. This is her first conviction, and so as part of that, she is going to be fingerprinted and entered into the system. Bailiff checking her Facebook really quickly. Where did all her notes go? They're gonna return those with her to the jail. Those are her personal property, and she's allowed to keep those.
Yeah, because if she has an appeal, she'll want those.
Yeah. The court recorder did a stellar job. I don't think it was that one, but we did have a day where we did have readback, a significant amount.
Did I hear that they're waking her up at 3 a.m. every day?
Yes.
She must be exhausted.
Yep. Let's see if we can pin this last message. If you're just joining us, you missed all the excitement. I apologize for that. But Sarah Boone has been convicted. She was found guilty by a jury of 6 individuals, 5 women, 1 man, and they did it in less than an hour and a half deliberation time. Sarah gets a little wet wipe to clean ink off her fingers. She's now got an official fingerprint card on record.
That's weird to me. Didn't they do that before? She's been in jail.
I don't think they do. I think they only fingerprint on conviction. And I don't think she's ever been convicted before. The last case that she was involved in, the domestic dispute, was the one that George went to the judge and said it was all me.
Yeah, but that's so crazy. They fingerprint my kids at county fairs.
Wow. I have to say, I do agree. I think the jury did get this one right. It feels good to have finally picked one correctly as far as the verdict goes. But I will say that that for me it's not a celebration.
No, it's not even really satisfying.
Well.
Oh, it's satisfying for you. I just feel like, oh, this is just yuck. Yeah. This just is terrible that this happened.
They're at the end of a case when there's justice served, but there's no cause for celebration. The end of the day, families got torn apart, and this also hurts families. There's a boy out there whose mom is going to be locked up for presumably a great deal, if not the rest of her life. And
I do feel bad about that, but by the same token, I honestly think that's better than having him in her custody.
Yeah, we're watching right now to see if we're able to get any footage from Trial TV Live. Chris is our guy on the ground out there. Give me just 1 second. Let me get their channel pulled up here. It's so dark in here. My camera's all grainy. All right. Trial TV Live. There it is. We're going to watch and see if they get a feed. They're seeing our feed right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. I have to say thank you. A to Z gifted like massive super chats. In addition, like 60 memberships tonight. There are many people now in green, possibly for the first time, courtesy of A to Z. Thank you for your generous gifting.
That is awesome.
Lady Laura says, thanks, RA, for being my therapist there in this trial. You rock. Thank you. A to Z, did you just do it again?
You paid for.
You just do another 20? Holy cow. That's 80 now. That's 80 memberships.
Whoa.
And a massive super chat. Thank you.
Sponsored today by
Yes.
A to Z.
Send us the script, whatever ad you need us to read, because I feel like I owe you right now, A to Z. I appreciate it. You've been with us a long time, and appreciate the support. It is that support that makes this possible. I love what I do, but what I do doesn't pay the bills unless there's a little bit of support, and you guys have offered that in a big way. So thank you for all of that.
And as the one who does the finances in the family, for real, thank you.
Yes. I don't feel it because I'm just like, it
just goes to Jen.
It just goes to Jen. Nurse for God also gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Nurse for God. Also a longtime supporter on the channel.
And I love seeing so many people in green.
And Brandy's as well. I can't wait for announcements to come out with Brandy. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I can't say anything.
Cool.
You can't either.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, Barclay's mom, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. Thanks to all those who subscribed to Trial TV or went over there and got a membership there as well.
It's over 4,000. I saw that. Yeah, it was 4.17 really cool. When I saw.
I'm so excited. They're a great group. We've been talking for a long time about this and how to work this out and what our vision was. While driving, can I just say this was on the way back across the country. We're in West Virginia. It's dropping out. The cell phone coverage is terrible. Trying to work this out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this part is hard. It was hard, but amazing people to work with. I am so excited. Their channel is fairly new, but it's going to boom. It's doing so well. Thank you. And if we can do anything to help, please let us know. We're watching to see if we do get a feed from Trial TV. I don't know for sure if we will. It's not going to be through the live view. It's going to be through probably through cell phone, just there on site outside the court. So I think we're good there. I'm going to let him do his thing. Blackbird Squeaks, thanks for gifting a membership as well. You guys are amazing. Yes, subscribe to our channel. 13th Juror is the best.
Do you guys have like an emotional letdown? Like right now I am experiencing a point where I'm like, oh, I just feel worn out.
For me, it wasn't yesterday was hard. Yesterday was really hard.
Was that yesterday, all the videos? That was terrible.
It just weighed so heavy. I mean, it's like what I just watched it hurts. It hurts to watch another human be on the receiving end of that.
Or even the giving end. Like she was...
No, I don't see them as human at that point.
So, I do. I see them as someone who has really fallen a long way and is making themselves miserable. Yeah. And I mean, if I had to choose, I'm going to go with the victim. But frankly, both of them are hurt by this interaction. And it's just bad.
Yeah. The other Jules, thank you very much. Glad justice was served. Rest in peace, George. Thank you. My podcast partner, Thomas, just gifted 5 memberships. A great mod, a great friend. Thank you, Thomas, for all you do. And you do a lot on the channel.
I know. I feel like so many people are just very, very helpful.
Robin Frost, thank you for your generous donation as well. Gifted a membership. The memberships have been flying out the door tonight. This is very indicative of this community, and I can't thank you enough. For those that are new here, don't understand what this channel is about. Mostly it's amazing people watching me bumble my way through YouTube.
This is not true. Scott is very well informed. He's very good on the camera. He's very good at this, but the community is amazing.
Blackbird Squeak says, sorry, I don't have any more money-colored paper left in the basement, so I got to keep it simple. Blackbird, thank you. I appreciate it. My channel is called Recovery Addict. I started this channel thinking people would want to watch me. There's Trial TV Live. Okay, we'll go there right now. Hang on one second.
They have on Trial TV Live right now. We're
gonna take it live.
Are doing a presser, and Scott
I'm trying to take it.
I know. I'm feeling the dead air.
Amber, hang on. Okay, Trial TV. There's the live.
Is there audio?
There now. It's not loading. Oh, let's go to 3. It's terrible audio, but that's all we can do. It's in the courtroom.
Will you be representing her on her appeal?
That was a no. He will not be representing her on the appeal. There's Mr. Owens. It was very difficult to hear. It's a noisy courtroom. Chris down there getting that feed. The squeegee of justice may pop on the screen here a little bit. I'm not sure. All I could draw from that was that he will not be representing her on the appeal. There's Chris. See if he can.
All right, guys. Well, couldn't get much sound there, but we'll continue. We'll stay here and pick it up as it comes along.
Awesome. Chris is doing a great job. We're gonna cut away from that. If you want to follow Chris, I suggest highly you jump over to Trial TV Live. I might even be able to make a portal to take you over there tonight to see if they have anything else that they might be able to show us. I'm not sure if they can let me in.
Okay, question. If he says he's not going to cover her on the appeal, does that also mean he won't be there for the stuff that's left, like December 2nd? Will he be there for that part?
Yes, he'll be there through sentencing. That's all part of the same trial. Let's see. I'm not sure if I can portal to Trial TV Live. Yep, I can. All right, we'll build a portal. What I'm going to do, we're going to wrap things up tonight with a little bit of music. It has been a long stream. We've been live for close to, 13 hours.
3 days.
It seems like 3 days. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. You guys are amazing. This community is absolutely wonderful. If I missed any of the super chats or milestones, I do apologize. It's been really busy in chat. It's been really busy. I would like to thank my mods as well for all that they do. You're absolutely incredible. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again. It will be Monday morning. We're going to pick up the Georgia Ferris trial where, guess what? Surprise, surprise. My face is now in evidence. I kid you not. It's going to be a wild one. We're going to pick up, starting with what happened today is where we're going to pick up. I think we're going to be able to regain all the ground we need to for that. You guys have a good night. Mrs. R.A., thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah,
it's been
thanks
wonderful.
for letting me on.
Thanks for all the calls. Thanks for treating us really great. Appreciate all of you. We'll catch you on the flip side. We're going to portal you over to Trial TV Live, who's getting some more footage out of Florida right now. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye. When you land over there, make sure you click the like button, hit subscribe, join as a member if you can. That would be awesome. We'd really appreciate the support down there. Aaron and Chris are amazing. Have a good night, guys. Bye.